Kev, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you this time.
Oh my God. Listen, I never thought that I would be able to see you and have you totally silent, but that happened the last time. I was really happy about that.
Actually, it would be better if I were talking and you were silent. Then you'd get added value. You move your mouth and I'll do the talking.
That's true. That's true. How you doing today, man?
I'm crispy around the edges.
All right. Where are you?
I'm in Miami. I'm, in my little prison here in the sky.
Kevin, I can actually see your building. You are...
Don't say where I am. Okay, I don't need that.
I know. Kevin, people always ask me, are you really an asshole?
That's, Damon, the key to that question is, no, it's Mr. Asshole. Let's show some respect.
All right. I like to get up on my stage and I open up my speaking engagement. I go, I'm a shark just like you. I just have a camera on me all the time and I sit next to an asshole named Kevin O'Leary. What do you say on your stage about me?
I say, listen, Damon's been a good friend of mine. I helped him through the whole prison time for 10 years. I used to visit him. I'm the only guy that brought him protein on Saturdays. Otherwise, it was just carbos. That's all he ate. And that's where our friendship is. I brought him the burgers. He got a big Whopper. Like, he got a Whopper every Saturday from me.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So, all right, man, we're gonna have to have, I think Lori is watching. I thought she was watching here. I know she's getting over a cold. She did not have corona. I know that she didn't do well with us. We were doing karaoke, car karaoke, right, Kev?
Yeah, absolutely. That was fun. She missed that one. We had a great time.
Yeah, but hopefully we'll bring her on next. So, Kevin, all right, so small businesses, I'm right now, let's say I'm a small business, I live month to month. I have, let's say really small businesses, mom and pop shops, nail salons, hair salons. What do I do right now that I don't have any income coming in?
If you're a small business, you probably have a current account with a bank, no matter what city you're in. You go to that bank right now, you get the application for the relief bill, and you look at your payroll, even if you only have 4 people on Feb 15th, and you apply, because you're going to be able to keep your employees if you can find a way to just fund them for the next 7 weeks. And then the great news is, big chance you'll get that loan forgiven. So that's what you got to do. That means you go to your landlord and say, look, I love you, you love me, but I'm not paying you for 3 months. And I've been doing that all day long with all my small companies. And you go to your suppliers, say, I need to stretch you for 60 days. I can't. You got to survive. You got to keep the DNA of your business. Everybody in America understands this right now, so it's no big surprise to anybody.
But what about if somebody says, you know what? Even if we come back in 3 months, and a lot of people haven't made money because they all got fired or whatever the case is. So the last thing they're buying is frivolous things like they're doing their hair at home, or they're not going to spend on these things because they need necessities right now. Do you say to somebody, hey, close shop for a while, and then when you open back up, because there's going to be so many leases available, you break that lease where you're at right now, and then you get something at 50 cents on the dollar because, hey, you reset yourself. I mean, I'm just asking you really tough questions because I know we don't have an answer for all these, but that's the way some people should be thinking, right?
You're talking about DEFCON 5 strategy. That's scorched earth. And yeah, that's going to work. If you're in a business where there's just zero problem, like you're running a club,
yeah, a nightclub.
You're running a disco. There's no faxing anything to anybody or going online to sell them your service or anything. You're screwed. So you might as well go to DEFCON 5 and say to the landlord, hey, listen, buddy, I'm shutting down. I can't pay you. But when people want to go out dancing again, I'm going to be back. So let's have a relationship of some kind. But there are businesses that aren't going to be the same.
And by the way, if you're running a disco, you probably don't have a good business unless you were back in the 70s. I'm sorry, Kevin.
No, but I'm telling you, Damon, this is why I'm so hip. You don't even know that disco's back. Like, you are so far behind. Disco's hot as hell again. That's the thing.
By the way, everybody here, I like to take Kevin O'Leary to live on Sundays in Miami when it was open. And you have to see how the hood loves Kevin O'Leary. The hood really loves Kevin O'Leary. They be like, yo, Kev, yo, Mr. Wonderful, yo, word up. So the Kev, you know what? You are actually really big with the hood guys because you just say some crazy stuff all the time. And Kevin be like, yo, I really like him. That is
no,
true. You are
Damon, it really boils down to showing all that respect to you when you were in prison. Nobody else visited you. It was just me.
All right, Kev. So what are you in? What are you looking to? I mean, you're a big market guy. You have your own ETFs. You're on CNBC every day. Oh, by the way, you have a YouTube channel that I think is. I learned a lot. Listen, I never learned shit from sitting next to you and Mark, but when I saw you interview Mark Cuban, I learned a lot. What is that channel? It's
called
Ask Mr. Wonderful.
Ask Mr. Wonderful, and I'll just break the news. I just finished taping another episode of Ask Mr. Wonderful, and who's the star? Damon John, direct from his prison cell, directly. It's live.
I'm in a prison cell. So where is it at? It's on YouTube?
It's going to be on YouTube. You got to give my guys about a week to edit it, but it's every Wednesday. We drop another app every Wednesday. Tomorrow's app is Maria Sharapova. You remember her? She came on Shark Tank as a guest. Yes. And then you're going to be up, and I think it's going to be a great episode. Lots of good advice. I love that show. I mean, it's so much fun. We can just say whatever we like, and we did.
Yeah, unlike when we're on our channel, we can't, on ABC and this and that. No disrespect to ABC because they definitely make a great viewing channel for all the kids and everything. But we can say shit, fucking bitch, and all that kind of stuff that we say behind the scenes or they edit it out. And we can just really be very open about our feelings and what we're thinking about. So, Kev, Mr. Wonderful, who has an ETF, who's been in the market for many, many years, who's have funds and stuff like that. What are we looking at in the market? Where do you think the market is going to go down or up? What's the bottom, you think?
I think the bottom is when New York has its most cases. The whole world's watching New York now. New York is ground zero for a second time for different reasons. This is a global pandemic, but the most infections, per capita, the way I look at it, is New York. Manhattan is actually a cruise ship. That's what it is. It just never leaves port. But it's just a cruise ship. People are packed on there. They're jammed in there. And that virus is having a heyday. And when they get that, the market's going to come back. But we're going to get bad news over the weeks ahead, and I think it'll continue to go down until New York is fixed. New York is the whole deal right now. It's the whole deal.
So I think the market is going to go to 16. What do you think?
That's wow, like 1600 on the S&P.
I mean, we were 18. No, I'm talking about the Dow. We were 18 only last week, right?
Yeah, that's true. But if that would mean another leg down with an additional 10% loss, you're talking about a 45% decline from the top. Hey, it's possible, but it would be a hell of a buying opportunity. I would be buying if that happened.
What are you buying? So the everyday person right now who may say, I don't know, maybe I want to liquidate my 401k and I want to hold it and buy Facebook or something else. What do you think is a great buying opportunity?
I look at the big names on, like, I have Johnson & Johnson and Boeing and even Exxon, which is just, Exxon's paying over a 6% yield, I think, right now, as if oil's never, ever going to be used again. It will be used again, but you want to buy the big quality companies. All of these Cisco and the giants that have big balance sheets, they're the ones that are going to survive. And you just buy a basket of those and you sit back. But when I saw Boeing at $96 the other week, whoa, baby, I jumped into that one.
Yeah, Boeing is great because the government's going to bail out Boeing because you can't make planes virtually. And we all we're all a global economy of people who want to fly and are going to fly. And Boeing is the top maker of that, is one of the top companies in America. I think that I would buy that. I like to buy, though, the Facebooks, the Amazons of the world. I like to buy people who don't have inventory.
But Damon, I think Facebook is going to be a screaming buy because that company is on recovery. Everybody's going to want to be Facebooking their geographic region. If you got inventory in Texas, you're only going to advertise in Texas. If you got inventory in California, only there. It's the only platform that lets you do that. Facebook is a phenomenal small business platform. They got 140 million small business on it. Definitely, I've owned that from the beginning. But I think if that gets whacked again, that's a great buy.
All right, and I'm going to ask you one last question. I know you're a busy guy. You got a lot of other stuff to do. If you were an employee right now who got laid off, or you don't know if you're going to get laid off or whatever the case is, and you and I both have worked for companies and realized that that's not what we want to do, what would you say to somebody right now who's thinking about starting a business? They happen to, they have a couple of dollars. Maybe they're an empty nester, or maybe they're a college kid who lives with mom, or maybe they were just financially smart, and maybe they say, I'm going to downsize my home into an apartment, and I got an extra $200,000. What would you say is the best route to start trying to become an entrepreneur?
I've always felt that at times of stress like this, the greatest ideas come forward. we're going to have amazing businesses created in this downturn here. People are going to be thinking about stuff, sitting at home. First of all, if you get laid off, stop buying shit you don't need. There's a lot of stuff you don't need. And these days, you don't even want to go outside to buy the shit you don't need. So you should really think about what you need: food, and maybe you don't even pay your rent for a while, but you make sure you have enough money to live. Take care of your family if you have one. But start thinking about, I think about Benji lock. Remember the guy got laid off on Shark Tank, the kid that designed the lock that your fingerprint opens? He was laid off. He was destitute. He was working out at the gym. He kept seeing people forget their keys. Here's a Benji
back up
lock.
from the phone. Back up from the phone. Okay, there you go.
There you go. Here's a Benji lock right here.
Right.
Just put your finger on it and it opens. That's the whole idea.
Very cool.
So he invented that at a time of stress. That's what the problem was. So I think if you got 200 grand, go crazy. Get a Benji lock, get an idea going, something like that. I'm shamelessly promoting my Shark Tank company statement in case you didn't notice.
No, I did notice. And one last question. I'm sorry. Somebody did ask a good question. What do you think about buying a house right now? Where do you think the real estate market will go?
Oh, you gotta wait. Real estate's going south for sure. Hang tight, rent. Wait 6 months. You're gonna get saved 40%. It's going to be a shit show. It's going to be. If you want to get a condo in New York, halvesies.
Yeah. All right, Kev. So last but not least, when you're being somewhat abrasive on the show, I'll be very honest. A lot of times you're telling people exactly what I'm thinking, but I realize if you're gonna say it and you can be the bad guy, then I don't need to say it. I can say it a little more, in a more sophisticated way, meaning a little nicer. Don't you ever feel like when you're out, do people ever they have this judgment about you and they just don't like you when they see you? Does anybody really
Listen, Damon, I am the only shark that tells the truth. You're always worried about people's feelings. You're kumbaya. That's what you're doing. And I'm telling them that idea is total shit and it's going to zero. I'm the only one that says that. And I think everybody should like me a lot more than you because you're lying to them like a swine and I'm telling them the truth. And the truth is going to come and bite their ass anyways. The truth always is what happens. So I'm a nice guy. I'm a wonderful. That's why they call me Mr. Wonderful, by the way.
I think you should write greeting cards for a living. All right, man. I appreciate you, man. Stay safe, Jeff.
Take care. Bye from Mr. Wonderful.